Hey guys, this is Robert Mayfield with Farming by Faith. Welcome to the channel today. Glad you can join us. Just want to say, hope everyone had a Merry Christmas as 2019 is approaching. Want you to be able to look at the new year, planning out some goals for your garden and for your farm, or if you have livestock, whatever it may be. Go ahead and start planning those, getting ready for the spring. I'm at a friend's house right now. I want to show you some progression that they've made on their farm and getting ready for their garden and with their livestock. What you see behind me here is a 15 to 20 year old kids playhouse. They received a chicken back in probably, I would say, September, maybe beginning of October. And so they didn't have a chicken coop built, but what they did was they took a kids playhouse and they turned it into their chicken coop. And so our next coming videos are going to be about chicken coops. That's something that we're getting ready for 2019. I've already been raising some baby chickens throughout the fall. I have multiple friends that have done the same, and so we have been preparing our chicken coops. Chickens are great for the eggs, obviously, but also their manure is great for your garden. And so this is why it's good to be setting those goals, getting everything laid out. And so don't feel bad if you haven't started yet, even laying the wood chips down. If you hadn't seen that video, make sure you go back and watch that. You want to go ahead and start getting those wood chips laid down and getting your garden ready for that. But I want to show you today the chicken coop that is behind me. Let me show you some of the progression. Come around, follow me around to the back. All right, guys. So this, like I said, is about a 15 to 20 year old kids playhouse that my friends have turned into their chicken coop. And they didn't have to do a ton of work for it. Like I said, it may not be the most appealing thing that catches your eye. It might not be the Taj Mahal of chicken coops, but it does its job very well. And so what is that? That's keeping chickens in a safe place. They got a home to live in. They got nesting box inside. We'll show inside here in just a second, but it's a place for them to lay their eggs. It didn't take them long to build their run, and they're going to progressively be moving towards a bigger run for their chickens. They've just received 5 new baby chickens. Well, they're not baby anymore. They're about 12 to 13 weeks. So they'll extend their run out. But right now you see Lincoln, who is the rooster they first received. And so they didn't have a coop, and they wanted to give Lincoln a nice home. He was a chicken who needed a nice place to go, the place that he was at. Couldn't have roosters, and when the landowner found out that he was a rooster, he had to go. And so they were kind enough to take him on. Next you see Mary down there, and that's what started out in their little chicken coop, and now they've gotten 5 more. And so the point of this video is to show you that just think creatively of, like, you know what, I don't have to build the Taj Mahal of chicken coops. I can take a kid's playhouse, if I have one that's not being used, and use that structure, build out my chicken coop. So that way you can get eggs and you get the manure for the garden. But let's take a look inside. All right, guys, first thing you'll notice here is the roosting pole. This is where chickens sleep. You definitely want to have one of these in your coop. One, they just enjoy being on top of this, and it's where they roost for the night. Next, you'll notice is the nesting box. You need to have one of these for your hens so that they like to feel secure. And the great thing about a nesting box, they can really get in there. And so you don't want it super big. You want it more where they can feel that comfort. It's kind of like thinking it just helps them sleep. And the same thing with a nesting box. It's not necessarily for sleeping, but for them to feel comfortable and secure for them to lay their eggs. And so, you want it proportioned to the chicken size. So some chickens will be a little bit bigger, some chickens will be a little bit smaller, but a nesting box is great to have. Next, you'll see the teenage chickens. You saw Lincoln and Mary outside, which are older chickens, probably a year old each at least. These guys are about 12 to 13 weeks, and so you notice the cage here is because you gradually want to introduce them into the flock. That way, I mean, sometimes it happens, but some chickens will defeather other chickens. The pecking order will take place. You'll have some bullies. Sometimes it can be a rooster. Sometimes it can be a hen. It just depends. You know, each one has its own personality. And so you try to gradually introduce them as best you can. If you do have a chicken defeathered, or if there's a lot of fighting take place, you may have to quarantine one chicken, or you may have to take that chicken away and then try to come back a week or so later and reissue into the flock. And sometimes they will take like that. So it all depends. And so you just have to keep a very good eye on them. But once you have like a little dog crate or something like that where you can just slowly bring the chickens in, let them meet, let them get, have a little bit of a barrier where it lets the teenage chickens have a fighting chance, we'll say, where the bigger chickens won't defeather them or attack them, until they get comfortable enough where they don't care anymore and they've built that relationship. Alright guys, we're wrapping up our chicken video for today. Like I said, this was more of an encouragement video, just to encourage you that, you know, whether you have a kid's playhouse that's 15, 20 years old, you can turn that into your chicken coop. Next week, we will be building a coop at my house, because I have some chickens that are probably about 12 weeks old now as well, and so I want to get them outside and get them acclimated to the environment. So, but if you have any questions, comments, write those down as we get ready for doing those other videos. So anything that you can think of how to when it comes to either building a chicken coop, or how to get chickens, or you know, how do you take care of chickens. We're probably going to do a video on that as well. Whether it could be something of what do you put in chickens' water to help their digestive system or their immune system. I use Bragg's apple cider vinegar. That helps my chickens. You know, you can use a tablespoon or teaspoon, just depends on how big your water system is. But you want to put those things in your chicken's diet. But we'll talk about things of, you know, what kind of feed or what we recommend for feed-wise. You know, how long should a chicken be under a heat lamp, and things of those nature. So if you have questions like that, put those in the comment section. So look forward to next week's video. Like and subscribe. Take care. God bless.